WMDSF Magazine.
This is WMDSF Magazine, and I'm here with the smooth lover of the Quiet Storm, Lenny Green. Yes, I did call you the smooth lover. Yes. How you doing today, Lenny?
I'm good. Thank you for having me, Melanie. I appreciate it.
The pleasure's all mine after you let us be on the radio show. I owe you a great deal for that.
No owe in the world, but I'm happy to be here on this show because you're bang booming.
Thank
you.
You.
You're really doing your thing, and you're getting a lot of exposure.
I appreciate that.
And that's a wonderful thing. I think that's a quintessential thing to anything that we venture on to do. And this is obviously your personal and passion and personal project. So I wish you continued success as we approach the new year. And I know everything is going to take it to the next level. So thank you for being here.
I appreciate it. I mean, you have all the history behind you. You know so many people. If I could only know as many people as you, maybe.
I'm sure you do. I've been watching. You can't let her fool you because I've been watching her postings. And your postings tell me that you know people. So, nice try.
We're growing. I would just want to catch up with Lenny. So tell me, what got
Excuse
you?
me, I'm sorry. I'm doing a little Stokie. From time to time, I will do a little
cigar. He's
cigar
smooth.
thing.
It's a G thing. That's how it goes.
Okay.
So tell me, what got you into radio?
Friends in college. I went to Kingsborough Community College in Brooklyn, New York. And upon going to Kingsborough Community College, when I went initially, radio wasn't even in my sight. My first love has always been singing.
Okay.
I don't sing a lick anymore.
Really?
Not at all. So when I got to college, though, that was my focus. You couldn't tell me that I wasn't going to be the next Michael or whoever. So that was my focus, and because of friends encouraging me to go to the radio station and check it out, I eventually went. And when I went to the radio station, that's when I fell in love with just the ambiance and all the mechanisms of what radio was, because that was really my first time in a radio setting. And I must say, to give props to my alma mater, Kingsborough Community College, it should be a 4-year school, but it's a community college. I mean, the ambiance, you can't get any better location in Brooklyn, New York, than on a beachfront property. It has its own private beach. The technology or the equipment now in the radio stations, I just recently visited them, is better than the equipment at my station now. So anyone who's pursuing a career or want to pursue a career in radio or TV, and they live in the New York area, I would recommend them try Kingsborough Community College because they have state-of-the-art equipment, wonderful instruction, and it captivated my attention and interest, and I could only imagine that it probably would captivate someone else as well.
So tell me, were you nervous the first time you were on radio?
Yeah.
What was it like having to plan everything out and knowing that if you mess up, it's on live radio?
That's the thing. It's all psychological.
Right.
Because, and it took me a while to understand this, at the end of the day, a radio personality, for the most part, is in a room by themselves with a metal object that comes down or comes across, and you talk into it. We really don't see the people we're talking to.
Right.
But it's all psychological. So it was just a psychological thing, and because I was so a virgin to it, I was nervous as anything. But what I was taught early on, I was taught that you need to talk to people, one person. So I'm going to share something with you, Melanie, that I don't share a lot with too many people.
Please do.
But I had an object, and it was a teddy bear.
Wow.
And I put the teddy bear in front of me. I ended up calling it Lenny Bear. The Lenny Bear character became a character when I was doing mornings in Connecticut radio. So I did mornings in Connecticut radio for a short period of time. And the bear had its own voice, and it became a part of my morning show.
Aww.
But it allowed me to talk to something that I thought was listening.
To you.
And that's really the trick to radio. If you can realizing, of course, you are appealing to a great majority of people at the same time.
Right.
But if you're listening in your car, that person is listening in their car, that person is in their car, I'm really talking to that one individual at all times. So I think that was a trick and the thing that I had to master along the way, and I think I've gotten the hang of it by now. But that was probably the hardest thing to get. But going back to your initial question, it was the nervous thing that I could. I mean,
I know I was nervous on your show, and I was like, oh man, I hope I don't mess up.
Oh, really?
It
was all psychological.
It is psychological because you're thinking there's no mute button, there's no rewind, you can't stop, there's no edit. It's straightforward and to the point. What you say is being heard by everybody on the radio.
Right, it is, and it is straight and to the point. And you, I mean, the nice thing about when you came, at least you had somebody to talk to, like
That's
you're
true.
talking to right now.
Like I had somebody to talk to. Yeah. You had
The
nobody
most
to
part,
talk to.
radio personalities, we don't talk to people.
Right.
I mean, we don't see people that we talk to. We talk to people, but we don't see them.
You think that is why they kind of changed up the dynamics now that a lot of radio stations now have a group of people instead of just one person?
The group of people only mainly happens in mornings,
Right.
the morning drive and the afternoon drive.
Okay.
It doesn't happen in middays. It doesn't happen during my shift in the evening, 7 to midnight. It doesn't happen overnights. It doesn't happen on the weekends.
Right.
It's really on the two most important drives of the day for radio, which is morning drive and afternoon drive, where you feel you have the highest amount of listenership throughout the course of the average radio station. So they bring teams around them because it kind of gels and gets people.
Gets it flowing.
Gets it flowing. The energy is hyped up more because if you hear a lot of people on the radio goofing off or talking to people, it kind of amps you up.
Exactly. That's
So
very true.
by the time I come on, it's all about relaxing. It's all about
Unwinding.
getting booed up, getting into that special moment with your baby. And
I wonder how many babies were made to Lenny Green on the radio.
I don't know. I know. I can promise you one thing though. I can tell you that, despite of having babies that were made while I was on, my name is not on the birth certificate. So I am not responsible.
Sure about that?
I'm positive.
We gotta check.
Nah, I'm about. How can I be on?
You're right.
And doing
Well, radio, we can't see nothing. I mean, you never know, right?
That's pretty good.
Tell me, were you shy growing up as a kid?
I'm still shy, even though a great majority of my friends may not think I am. Because most people meet me through my business, meet me through radio, but I'm still shy. I have a, well, I can't name names because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus.
You don't want to name names?
But I have a variety of different. People, close friends, who will debate you to no end and let you know that I'm not shy, but they really don't know. Now, when I'm in work mode, I'm not shy.
Okay.
When I'm in Lenny mode,
You're a whole nother person.
whole other person.
So do you think that you have to put on a persona to be a radio personality?
I don't think I have to put on a persona.
Okay.
I think what naturally comes out is who I am. But and because of who I am, I just kind of it's just hard. Radio has helped me in a great way. It helped me become an extrovert as opposed to remaining an introvert. So having said that, I just kind of just do what I do, and I'm very happy in my skin, and I'm happy and thankful, and thank God for the opportunity for giving me the extra blessing, and for me to be doing and waking up every day with what I love to do. I don't like it, I love it.
That's the best thing.
And that's the best thing. But I've been down that road. I've been down the road of not being in the job.
You know how many people don't get to do that? Like they live their whole life.
I was that person.
Yeah.
I was
but you
that
at least got to eventually go into it, right?
I don't take God's blessings for granted.
Gotcha.
And it has been really an interesting and very rewarding and very outstanding venture and journey. So I'm thankful for every opportunity that I get.
You have to be thankful for that, right?
Yeah.
So who has been your favorite interviewee on the radio?
That's probably the most difficult question. Yeah.
I know it is. But there has to be somebody who stood out.
Look, let me be fair. The business of this industry is built on legends.
Okay, so let me change the question.
Okay.
Who's the most interesting person?
That still is unfair. That's an unfair question because so many people have been interested.
Right.
But I'm going to go back to what I was initially going to say. The iconic opportunities that I've been given over the years, I can't
just say it
replace
was me,
them.
Lenny. Just say it was me.
No, well I will say, and he's a very good friend. You know, since I've met him, a dear friend, Smokey Robinson is probably, you know, he's an icon, but he's the most humblest man that you could ever meet, and one of our history's greatest songwriters of all time.
Right. That's true.
Greatest songwriters.
Smokey's a bad man.
He's a bad man. I mean, but just as bad as Neil.
Right.
You know, Neil is a great songwriter as well. So I would say I'm going to stay with the legends. I'm going to say Smokey Robinson. I'm going to say Luther Vandross. I'm going to say Patti LaBelle.
You interviewed her recently, didn't you?
Yeah, well, I hang out with Patti when she comes to town for shows, but yeah, anytime she wants to get on the air and she has to tell everyone about something, you know, she thinks of me, and we do what we do. But
have you been lucky enough to taste any of her home cooking?
I have not, and you know what, Patti, if you're watching this, I would love to.
I want some too.
I hear you. After the New Year, Patti,
yes.
If you would, because I'm on a diet right now.
See, she does diet food now.
Well, yeah, because she's a diabetic.
Right, exactly.
But I'm on this 4-week diet, thanks to Dr. Ian Smith.
Oh boy.
New Year's Eve for 2014. For those of you trying to get it together, he put me on the situation ahead of time.
We're doing a New Year's resolution, fitness edition actually, to get
really?
Everybody, all of us, myself included, to lose weight for 2014.
So I'm going to say the same thing what he said to me. This is the last time I'm seeing the person I'm looking at.
Woo,
Because the next time I see you, you're going to be a different person.
He just sent chills through my body. Did y'all feel it? Because I felt it.
Hey, look, I felt it when it was said to me.
Oh, he's good.
I'm glad I saw you today.
Ian is good.
Because this is the person I will never see.
That's the last time you see it.
That's what's up.
That's the last time you see it.
And we got it all on documented.
We need your help. I mean, the books is not enough.
No, but you know what? The book is, because obviously he can't clone himself.
Exactly.
But, you know, the crazy thing about it, it's not a hard diet.
Right.
But you do have to discipline yourself. You know, I'm a brown liquor dude initially. I can't have any brown liquor.
So what does he take out of your
He takes out a lot of sugar. And he makes you do two things. He makes you very conscious of when you start to eat and when you stop eating for the rest of the day, and your calorie intake.
That's important.
And on top of that, you've got to do cardio, because cardio burns the fat at the end of the day. So, you know, I'm kind of
I think that's what the problem most people have is the dedication to the exercise.
You got to know how to say no.
Yeah.
But ladies know how to say no most of the time, don't they?
Did he just put us on the spot?
I'm just saying,
ladies,
you know.
Did you hear Lenny say that?
No, I'm just saying.
But you know what? I think as humans that we all kind of get lackadaisical at times, and we'll postpone it. We'll say, I'll work out tonight. I'll work out in another 15 minutes. I'll work out. And you keep pushing it back and pushing it back. You know what the trick is at the end of the day? The trick is, how much do you love yourself? That's true. That's true.
My mom says there was a time when you would hear about old people dying. That time has changed. Now you hear just as many young people dying, and it's not just because of, you know, the illnesses and what's going on in our society and the streets. It's because of health issues and a lot of other things. So, you know, look, I pray that I can get to my mother's age and above, and she's saying she ain't leaving until she's 101.
I know that's
so.
Right. Yeah, Mom.
I come from great stock, and I come from a woman who has a great deal of drive, and who I have a great deal of respect and love for.
That's what's important. So tell me, we all know that Mr. Lenny is smooth. How did the Quiet Storm get developed? How did it come about?
It wasn't through me. I can promise you that.
Was it all the radio stations?
It was. I'm going to give you the history.
Okay.
The history of the Quiet Storm format came out of Washington, D.C.
Oh, wow.
There's a gentleman that was on a radio station called WHUR, which is Howard University's radio station, and his name was Melvin Lindsay. Melvin Lindsay is really the godfather of the Quiet Storm format. I don't know how they decided to name it the Quiet Storm. Maybe it was just a conversation that they said, hey, let's just do it like this. But he was the first person in the entire country, before it even flared up, to do the Quiet Storm format. And if you ever go down to the nation's capital and listen to WHUR, you will hear them reference that, the Quiet Storm station, because they are the premier station that started it up. Now, I'm a Brooklyn boy, so growing up here in New York, I wasn't privy, and technology, when they started it up, wasn't where it is now, where we could even listen to other stations around the country. So I grew up listening to Vaughn Harper, who's my mentor, here in New York, an iconic figure, and he was the host of the Quiet Storm for years. And at the time when I was listening to him, I had no idea that I was going into radio. So I was just listening just to listen. But I'm standing on his shoulders just as quick and just as much as I'm standing on the shoulders of Frankie Crocker, another legendary voice here in New York. As much as I'm standing on the shoulders of Jerry Bledsoe, Jerry Bolden, who I'm saddened to say recently passed away from us. But here's a homework assignment for you.
I'm getting homework from Lenny Green.
You're going to get a homework assignment. When you go back and listen to a song called The 10 Commandments of Love, it's by a group called the Unifics. The gentleman at the very beginning of the song is Jerry Bolden.
Oh, wow. So he was a singer?
No, he was a radio personality.
Oh, wow.
But he
So
talked. He talked.
Okay.
They let him talk that
on
part.
the track.
That's your homework assignment.
Okay.
And I'll tell you where you can even find it.
Look it up.
There's a series of Hey Love. Every so often they put up these infomercials about CDs, just like new music for you to get. Just like they have the whole Soul Train series. Every so often they pop up the Hey Love series, which is nothing but like 70s iconic love songs.
Okay.
It's on that series. So either you can find it on your own.
That'd be a good Christmas present from Lenny Green.
It would be a good Christmas present, but again, you wouldn't learn your lesson of history of music if you don't find it and search it for yourself.
It would be right there.
See, that's the problem with the difference of generation, y'all.
Oh, we don't want to do the work?
There you go.
Yeah.
Y'all have to go to my look.
Guess what? We made it easy for everybody because now we could just Google it. You could just go. Before we used to have to go to the library and look up
I'll give you
stuff,
kudos for that. Thank you very much.
Right?
Do the work.
The first thing Lenny did when I came in was open up his laptop. So look who's talking.
Hey, look, but you know what? I'm a Renaissance man. So I move with the time, and I try to stay on top of the time as much as possible. I think it's important for us to just, stay relevant.
You want to hear something I did Google, though?
What?
I Googled that. Lenny Green was interested in acting.
And still am. I still am.
Tell me about that.
You know what? It's the last little project I did was it's an independent film. It's called Less Than 12 Hours to Go. And it hasn't come out yet. I played the role of a news reporter. And it was nice. But I've always had a desire. I've taken improvisation classes for, quite some time.
Wow.
So, and you know what? What I do every day is not phony, but it's theater.
Right.
It's theater of your mind. Radio is just theater of the mind because you can't visually see.
That's true.
But if you go back to the history of radio once again, radio was just a box, a wooden box from the images I saw. And the family would gather around and sit down and look at the box like they were looking at TV. I mean, that's
so true. My father told me stories like that. I'm like, I cannot envision looking at a box.
Right, exactly. So, it was all about you using your imagination. Right. And radio, still to this day, allows you to do just that.
Right.
So especially when I get on at night, because when I get on at night, I try to create an ambiance, and I try to picture a scene of what I would want to be in with a beautiful lady at the end of a long day. And we don't have to necessarily get into sex every night.
Right.
But no, I'm saying we don't have to do it every night, but that doesn't mean that you can't romance.
Right.
And I think a lot of people have lost that.
That's what I was going to say. I think a lot, especially in our generation, that doesn't exist anymore.
You don't know about it.
They have no idea. No. And there's nobody to teach them. They don't have that.
Not unless they find, a distinguished gentleman.
Lenny's offering his services.
No,
I think you need to do
I'm not offering my services to anybody.
I think you need to do something like Steve Harvey, where he's mentoring the youth, the brothers, and trying to teach them how to be a gentleman. Maybe that's something we could do in New York.
Maybe so. I think Steve Harvey's doing a wonderful job in doing that, and I commend him for doing, starting that mentorship, starting that camp. I think boys need that structure. And I think there's a lot of opportunities for a lot of young ladies, but I don't think there's a lot of opportunities for young men.
Right.
And we've lost a couple of generations. So by him doing what he's doing right now, I think that is quintessential. And I know Steve and I are supposed to be crossing paths, and I definitely would like to probably get involved with this camp. Because look, anything I can contribute. I'm in the process of getting involved with 100 Black Men, just to be a mentor, because to give you a little personal side, I didn't grow up with a father figure in the house, but that's why I credit all my mom for all the credit, because not only was she mom, but she was dad as well, and she held us down along with the rest of the family. So
where did you learn about being a gentleman?
Mom and my grandfather and my grandmother. Those were the three key people who, if I got out of line, they smacked me upside my head, And just an observatory standpoint, just watching my grandfather and how he interacted with my grandmother, you know, that was something that I just absorbed. Or maybe, and this is a little crazy now, but you know, images that what I saw, whether it was shows or theater, of how men treated women, was always in a respectful way. But then I saw the other side of the coin. I saw the other side of the coin of how women were abused and how women were taken advantage of. I saw how, you know, my own family member women were being abused. So I knew what I didn't want to be.
Right.
And I'm not a perfect guy by no means, but
so,
I am a respectful
So
guy.
if you could give advice to a single mom raising a boy, what would you say to her to help him to grow into a gentleman?
Well, one, just to develop that relationship. My mom took quality time out of her life to just devote and give me the attention. I think a lot of kids today are just lacking the attention. I think they want to be paid attention to. I think kids are resistant to attention because every kid, especially when they reach the teenage point, they think they're growing. But you know, you got to know how to break that ass when it needs to be broken. You got to do a Medea when need be.
Lord.
You need to do a Medea. And I'm not saying, you know, I'm not saying, look, I'm not for sparing the rod per se. I'm not saying abuse either.
Right.
Because my mom always tells me, you know, when I was young, her zone was from my waist down to my ankles. So, you know, and look, I remember this one time, I think I threw a temper tantrum around 4 or 5 in the street. She didn't wait till I got home. She took my pants down the street and whooped me there.
That's the
and
way
the
you
cop
do it.
came to her.
Oh no!
You know, and the cop said, "Why you beating him?"
Oh my God.
And she said, "So you won't have to learn." And guess
see,
what?
that's right there.
Knock on wood.
He never
I don't
had
have
to.
a record.
Yep.
I don't have a record. I'm clean. You know, I've never been in trouble with the law. I've been stopped by the police. That's right, because I'm black.
Exactly.
But you know, I've never gotten in trouble, and I never wanted to know about that. So
I need to
what
use
I would
that
tell,
quote.
what I would say to mothers is first build a bond, and the second thing I would say is you have to set a boy up with positive male role models around him. Get him involved with the mentorship program. Get him involved with some form of where positive male role models, because in all honesty, you know, it's harder every year, every day for women to raise a man.
Exactly.
It's really hard for a woman to raise a man. You know, I'm not trying to gloat, but I think I'm one of the last Mohegans where that has happened. I think women these days need to have men, positive men who are about substance, positive men who are about progressiveness, positive men who are about just exuding a respectful life.
Right.
Needs to be centered around young men. So get them involved with that kind of organization where they can grow and develop as men, because you really can't raise a boy.
It's so true. It's so true. And then sometimes you have the men that do come into their lives, and they're the complete opposite of what image you want for your child.
Yep, and ladies, you know, that's important as well. You know, not trying to tell you who to date or who to be with, but I think you need to let that be the far distant, in another world aspect of, you know, you dating the man, that's you dating the man. Your children are not supposed to date your man, because guess what? There's no guarantee that man's going to be in that child's life.
Yep.
And you know, there was a time, I'm going to be honest with you, there was a time where I did not. If you told me you had children, I didn't want to be bothered with you. Then God had a way of molding me, and then I was accepting of women with children. I think I'm back at this level now. I don't want to deal with children. I don't want to deal with women with children. Because
too much baggage or emotional?
It's not, well, it's emotional baggage on both ends. Because what you end up doing, because you're around the woman, you bond with the child. And if the bonding is good and strong, when the problems happens in the relationship, and now you have to distance yourself from the woman, you got to distance yourself from the child, out of respect. And I think that's just bad, because people coming in and out of the kid's life is not a good reflection on the kid emotionally and psychologically.
I agree with that.
I'm not, if you have a child, ladies, you don't have to date me. I'm not interested in dating.
He's not interested in you. What if they're grown? Then it's different, right?
They have to be grown and out of the house.
Exactly.
You know, they can't, because there's some grown kids who still live in the house.
But that's another topic altogether.
And you know what, look, my mama, I can tell you this, my mama, she's a saint in my eyes. And if I didn't have a place to live, my mom would take me in.
Right.
But, you know, I'm a mama's boy, but I'm an independent,
man,
strong man.
Exactly.
You know, so,
that's a small G for you right
I
there.
think I would just say, I ain't dating women with children.
So, Lenny's love. Okay, Lenny, you do love ladies, right?
150,000%.
young ladies.
Definitely.
Yes.
You know, can we define that? Because I don't want you to perceive me as a dirty old man. So can we just define that a little bit?
Yes,
All
we
right,
can.
so
Lenny.
young ladies, yes.
Okay.
Legal ladies, especially.
Yes. You must show ID
Definitely.
at the door.
Well, hopefully you don't have to show ID at the door. If you have to show ID at the door, maybe I can't take you out in
Wait
public.
a minute. There are some girls who are the age that look underage. Like Angela Yee. I love her, but she looks like she's about 17.
Angela,
She looks young.
is she single?
You know what? Everybody has asked me that.
Hey,
Can you hook
Angela,
me up?
I know. She's at Power 105.
She's pretty.
Okay.
Yeah, she's pretty.
Oh, I see.
And she looks young. So,
I
I
see.
mean,
I want
you don't
you.
think you might want a card first? Check, make sure?
Nah,
Okay.
because you just threw her under the bus, whether you realize it or not. You threw Angela
okay.
underneath the bus because you said she
that's
looks
a
young, but she's not.
compliment. It's a compliment.
It is a compliment, but you threw her
Because, you
under
know,
the bus.
black don't crack. You know, that's the
It
best
does.
thing.
I would know.
See? Hello?
I would know for sure.
So, would you ever settle down?
Oh, I want to.
You want to settle down?
Yeah, but you know what? Look, I tried to. Is that a better answer for you? I
Okay.
tried. You know,
Okay.
because
I respect that.
some ladies have a try to hurt us brothers and say, well, men are afraid of commitment. I have never been afraid of commitment.
Okay.
I've been engaged twice,
Ooh.
and it just didn't work out. But yeah, I definitely would love to settle
On
down.
your part or her part? Or is it a combined
It
decision?
was, I can say, the last part was her part. The last one was her part. The first one was my part.
Okay.
Because
You weren't ready?
I wasn't ready. She was 15 years my senior.
Get out of here. You had a cougar?
Yeah.
Ooh!
And
Lady.
she had no children,
Okay.
and she was ready to have children, and I was
wasn't
just
ready.
breaking into the industry, so I wanted to grow my career.
Okay, Lenny. So did you get your heart broken
Oh yeah, on the first cougar.
on the first cougar?
Yeah, because you know, look, let me tell you how the story goes. A lot of young men. You have a son?
Yes.
How old is he?
10.
Okay, when your son gets to around 21, he's gonna start looking at older women.
Oh God. Please, Lenny.
Hey, look, I'm
No.
giving you the deal. I'm giving it to you straight.
Oh.
And that's gonna change as he gets older, and then it flips to a younger woman. But he's gonna because
Is that
guess
because
what?
you're looking for the experience? So you want
Because
somebody
you know
who
why?
knows
Because
what
the
they're
girls
doing?
around 21.
Okay.
Well, they could be different today, but the girls around 21 when I was growing up, they weren't really of anything. They had, they're still living at home.
Uh-huh.
You meet,
Put it
okay,
out there, Lenny.
I'm
Don't
gonna give you
hold
my
back.
first
Don't bite
experience,
your
right? My
tongue.
first experience, she was 32, beautiful, 32, no children. Boom, car, apartment, the whole nine. I was like, wow.
Oh my goodness.
And you're beautiful? Wow, that's all I can say.
Uh-oh.
So, Miss C, that's why I want you to say your name. Miss C, thank you
Wow.
for doing what you
So
did.
what
'cause you did
happened?
well, you know, look, you know what cougars do what cougars do. A cougar will take that youth, enjoy that moment, drain that moment on every given situation, and then after she finishes draining what she needs for a period of time, she's like, time to go.
Wow.
Meanwhile, you're left open, because chances are you probably never experienced anything like this in your life before, and you're just like,
You didn't know what to do.
you're like a deer in headlights, like, you know what to do.
How long did it take you to recruit from that? Or would you just on to the next?
3 months?
Like,
No,
okay.
it's about 3 months.
Okay. So, with all
I'm
the
giving you a
heart-
lot of exclusives. I just want you to know this. See, this
Lenny's so
magazine,
honest
this
with
online
me.
magazine is really getting a lot of exclusives.
Yes, you know what? I love him because he's honest, he's candid, he doesn't hold any bars, and that's what we love about Lenny.
Yeah, thank you.
So tell me, has the heartbreak, including the cougar, has it shaped what you look for in the future? Has it
Yeah.
deterred you from maybe venturing out to certain relationships and opening up the way you would have in the past? Did it stop you from doing that?
Well, not getting together with the cougar. It was an eye-opening experience. It was something that
Wait, was she the only person to ever break your heart?
No. And you know, come on, Melanie, you know how much you ladies break out.
Wait a minute, because God break our hearts too.
Yeah, but every so often, you know, you have the innocent man like me that's come walking through the forest.
All innocent?
All innocent. And you cougars see good, young, fresh meat who don't know too much, and then you grab them. And then you manipulate.
Okay, so what happened when you started dating the younger girls, and now you became the wolf? Did you not tear some of them up?
Oh. Well, you know, it's important.
We gonna be honest, right?
It's important that you pass the blessings on. It's important.
So
I think, and I hate to say this.
puppies.
I hate to say this. The young ladies who are dating the young guys, right? They're not getting a good experience of how to be treated, how to be treated as a lady,
Okay.
and more importantly, how to be loved as a lady.
Okay.
So I'm not putting it out there, but I'm just going to say it. I mean, I think, you know, obviously, being sensitive to age, I think, you know, ladies you shouldn't turn away an older guy. Obviously, you don't want to date grandpa, but you want to date a mature man.
I actually, ironically, met earlier today a famous musician. I'm not going to name names. He's 77 years old, and he just married a 25-year-old.
Wow,
So.
now see what that's grandpa. That could be great grandpa. I'm not saying going like that. And obviously he must have some good insurance. And he probably has a good plan, and he probably has a great will, and she's probably trying to get on that will. I mean that's extremely over the top, around the corner. Oh, and you know what? Was he single?
Was he single?
Is he single?
He's married to her. They're married.
Oh.
They are married. 2 years
Well,
now.
I guess you understand. 2 years?
2 years.
Oh, well, obviously he doesn't care. No, he's
care.
at a moment where
He's happy.
And that's what I was going to say.
Happy.
He's at a moment, a point in his life where he's happy, he's comfortable. She's making him smile.
Right?
A lot.
Isn't that what's important?
That is.
So maybe he's making her smile too.
And he's going to make her smile even more. That's all I'm going to say down the road.
He knows what he's getting into, and so
he knows. Right? Yeah, he knows. I mean, but I'm not. That's excessive. I'm not saying, young ladies, I'm not saying you should go that old, but go mature.
I think so. So what are your turn-ons and what are your turn-offs?
Turn-offs. Turn-offs would probably be people with people who are not driven.
Okay.
People who are not spiritual. People who are lacking enthusiasm and appreciating life. Those are big major turn-offs. People who don't keep it sexy. I can't, if you don't want to keep it sexy, that's cool. I don't have an 8-pack on my stomach either. But that's a turn-off for me. I need to be, one, attracted to somebody.
Right.
And if I'm attracted to them, then I know I'm going to be there. Because it's not all about the physical, so let me clear that up, because I know how we got some haters that want to just get you at the jugular. It's not about looks, but let's be clear. You want to go home to somebody who you want to go home to somebody for. I mean, I want whoever the future Miss Green will be. I want her to be my wife, my lover, my stripper, everything, everything, and I want to be everything to her.
Right.
So I'm not one-sided. I need to be able to fulfill my dreams and fulfill her wishes